stable. And I am gonna take a bit of a break. I'm having a little break and I need a ladder now. So I brought a ladder. It is up in my truck. The problem is that it's not a step ladder. It's one of those ones that extends up and it goes straight and you have to lean it against something to get up it. It was the only ladder I could bring because we're, as some of you may know, working on a camper, and so the other ladder needed to stay home, like the step ladder. There is a ladder here. I got a mosquito bite from yesterday. There's that mosquito on my head. Ugh. If anyone watched the video, the off-grid projects video, and you saw us putting the boat up, there is a ladder at that location, and that is a generous hike. I gotta go halfway down from between here and the cabin and carry it up here. I think that's probably, it's one of those ones that it can go like that, or you can put it straight up. But I really think that for this next phase, I need one that goes like that, so it stands on its own. So I think I'm gonna have to go down and get it and pack it back up here. So I'm just going around and plumbing and squaring and leveling all things as best as I can. I'm using little bits of this. This is the one piece of the vinyl flooring that was left over from my shed build. So I'm using this as shims. So I'm kind of just, those two posts there need to be shimmed up a little bit, and it's maybe being a little bit fussy, but again, I'm just trying to take a little bit of extra time to do a little bit of an extra good job so that as I continue to build, I'm not running into more and more problems, even though I still will. But all in all, it's not too bad. And then I will get the beams, the two beams on, the two side beams. I'm just squaring things up now within like the floor now that I have everything standing. So I think you should run from the outside to the outside, which I did for the floor, but I can't, I think I'll try to do it from up top, but just because I can't get the tape to the outside corner of this post, of the posts, I'm just running it inside to inside. It's definitely a lot of work doing this by yourself, fiddling around, getting things square and plumb and level. That's the other word. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's just definitely taking me a little bit longer. It's exhausting too, up and down. So bear with me. I think at this point, now that I've got it like that, I'm just going to check everything one more time, and then I think I should secure the posts as they are, like just tack them some screws or something just to try and ensure that they don't move. I
I wanted to check my measurements for squareness from up top before I installed the beams, and things needed to be adjusted up top too. I found a couple of ratchet straps laying around and attached them to the two posts that needed to be brought inward some. I likely spent a bit too much time fine-tuning here, and perhaps unnecessarily, because I ended up doing it all over again once I had the beams up. But nonetheless, I wanted to square things up before moving on. Those 12-foot length beams seemed heavy for some reason, and you can see that I'm struggling a little bit to get them hoisted up. I was also trying to be as delicate as possible getting them up into place to minimize movement of the standing framework as much as possible. All of this post and beam material is true 5x5, 5" by 5" more or less, that I milled at home, and from what I remember, it's mostly the lodgepole pine that I milled up last fall, with a little bit of hemlock mixed in here and there.
Okay, it's 4:30. I am beat. I still have to clean up, hike out of here because I'm going to stay at the cabin, hike out of here, drive down, and get myself settled in there for the night. So I'm going to leave this as is for now. I need to try and decide how much overhang I'm going to have at each the front and the back. These are 12 feet long and the cabin is 10, so am I going to do 6 inches off the back and then 1.5 feet off the front? Is what I think I'm going to do. But I'll mull over that tonight. I'll be back tomorrow.
This is funny. So I thought I would be able to have a really nice relaxing evening, but unfortunately I drove over a nail on my way down to the cabin, and I also soon discovered that the solar charge controller was no longer working. This is silly to admit, but I really don't know much about the electrical system and what to do in this situation, but I knew it wasn't good. So I ended up hopping on the ATV and driving a solid 30 minutes up to where there is one wee itty-bitty little bar of cell service, and I tried to call Steve and ask him what to do about the batteries. Sure enough, he wasn't answering, so I headed back. I got back to my truck. I slapped on some silicone all the way around the nail, and luckily by the morning, things were actually still okay with my tire.
There's always so many random things in this shed. There's my helmet. That was for the bear attack last year. I should take that for the cougar. But I found these. Now, these have been in here for some time, many years, and they must have been, I don't know, Steve building a dock or something. And there's this one. This is like timber screw from when the cabin was built here. So I've grabbed a few. I'm going to grab a few more and see if these wouldn't be a good way to secure all of the posts and the beams together. I'm also going to use this window as one of the windows. I don't quite have all the windows and doors figured out for the cabin, but this was a window that was a mistake on the main cabin there.
I think they cut a hole too big, so the window was too small. So they had to order a bigger window, and we were left over with this one.
Trying to decide how I want to put the beams on. I do appreciate overhang. So I think what I'm going to do so that I have a decent overhang in the front is I think I'm going to put all of the overhang to the front, keep them plumb or like flush to the back, and then I'll add on some fake beam pieces. I think I can do that. I'll just mill up some more 5x5 and add like maybe an 8-inch segment off to give a little bit of overhang rather than meeting in the middle, which is kind of what I was originally going to do, but I think it would be better to have more in the front. I got the long screws. These bad boys are like 16, almost 16 inches. So definitely good for this. Hopefully I don't have any problems getting these in. These are really long. I have the impact driver bit, and I also have a bit that can go onto that impact wrench that I have. So I'll try. I know Steve has said that these have a hard time going in and he breaks them. So anyway, I hopefully will get that in, and then I think I will leave after that because I am worried about my tire. I'm worried about getting out of here with my tire. And I'm also worried about the batteries in the cabin. And I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to have to come back out here this weekend. And of course today. Today is Friday, it's Canada Day. Nothing is open for me to get my tire fixed. But I have a feeling I'm going to have to come back out and do something with those batteries for Steve because he's working all weekend and he can't come out.
At this point, I spent quite a bit of time going up and down the ladder, pulling the tape from one corner to the other to check for squareness. So I tacked a nail onto 2 of the posts to hold the tape in place, but this was a bit of a challenge, to be honest, because all it took was for me to go up the ladder, get the tape set on the nail, go down the ladder, pick the ladder up, carry it over while holding on to the tape, and inevitably more than a few times, the tape would come off the nail as I got over to the other side, and I literally had to just start that process all over again. So what you'll see me doing here is just doing it once or twice, but in actuality, I did it so many times, and this took me such a long time. In keeping with the theme of trying to learn from my previous builds and attempting to minimize movement within the structure while adding on and hammering, I found these small little L brackets and I decided to install them temporarily to help hold the beams in place, keeping things as square as possible while hammering in the long spikes.
Because I don't know if I don't think I need to add a plate, like something like this here. I think if I didn't have the bracing, the wind bracing, I think I would structurally need to do that. It might be just kind of fun. There's some hardware on like steel plates, angled plates on those old docks down on our beach. And I'm gonna measure them and see if they might fit. I think it might just look kind of cool more than anything. But in order to get those on, I think these wind braces would be in the way if I were to install them now, but I just want to do it temporarily with screws, just so I can visually see more progress. And then I'll see. Then I can just take these down and install those plates. I got smarter for the third one. I put the screws in already a little bit. I'm gonna start with my normal one. That's loud. Let me try this one though now. Hot diggity damn. This is really cool. I like this tool. Okay, that one's super slick. This one is stuck. Won't go in, won't go out. Yeah. It's like right in the middle. I know I did not put a nail right in the middle. It won't go in anymore and it won't come out. So I'm gonna have to cut it off with the angle grinder. All of the other ones went in really well. Things are going so well. That is it for me. I'm gonna pack up and I'm gonna go. It's around 1 o'clock or something. Camper project, our mountain bike trip, and back out here after that. So I'll see you in the next one, whenever and wherever it is. Lucky for me, just putting a winter tire on.
Yeah, did the blanket stay? Blanket did stay on those two panels. There's one more panel up there anyway, and they're 18.8 volts. So this charge controller, yeah, funny. Someone said that that brand was good, but it's not because our batteries are overcharged. Anyway, my job is to unplug these wires. And it's so funny because build a cabin on a cliff, no problem. Pull a wire, am I gonna die?